Hey everybody, and welcome. I thought we would do a video talking about the state of the computer, the gaming tech market right now, because as I'm sure you're all aware, it's a little bit of a nightmare right now, and I guess trying to address. I guess we'll look at why it's a nightmare to begin with, and then we'll look at what our options are, I guess, and how we get around this. So when I talk about it being a bit of a nightmare, I'm kind of specifically talking about PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and to some extent the S, and PC graphics cards in particular. Now I'm in the UK, and experiences may differ around the world, but I think it's widely recognised that it's a bit of a nightmare at the minute wherever you are. In the UK, let's have a look at what you can get at the minute in terms of your graphics cards for your PC. So I'm on Overclockers UK, which is a pretty standard site. Unfortunately, they kind of have it in the sense of anything where you says see details you can't buy. It's just saying as soon as we have this in stock, it'll be available, sort of thing. So you kind of have to scroll down. The GTX 3080, as far as I can see, is completely unavailable, other than the second-hand market or scalpers on eBay. You cannot get a single one of them in any shop, to my knowledge. The 3070 was available for a bit, but I think what happened was a lot of 3080 people downgraded and went, when that released, and went, I can't get a 3080, I can't afford a 3090, let's go for 3070. So the 3070 I did find a few for, and then the 3090, which is the hugely expensive one, is it is available. You can kind of pre-order them. You can get them in some other places as well. But as we'll look at it, the prices for them are extortionate, even on what you would call reputable sellers. So, for example, this card, the 3090, I believe the RRP, and I'd need to NVIDIA. I need to check actually the NVIDIA website, what their RRP of the Founders Edition is, to actually look at how much we are paying over that now. So obviously nothing's available on here. So a 3080 Founders Edition is should be £649. The 3090 should be £1,399. So your regional prices will vary. The UK at the minute is a lot higher priced than America. It didn't quite used to be that way, but it is now, on graphics cards. Why? I don't know. It was like that before Brexit, so I don't even know, but we end up paying an arm and a leg. So we go back to here. You can see that if the RRP is 1,400, and for an aftermarket card, which yes, they are usually more expensive than a Founders Edition, but not by a lot usually, is suddenly you've got them here for say 1,900, £500 more expensive. That's actually insane. I don't know how much the 3080s would be. They're saying here it's £649. I would say that is what I've seen for a low end 3070 going for. I don't know if Scan have any. I'll have a look. Let's have a look. They won't obviously have any 3080s. If they did, I'd buy one straight away and just sell it on eBay. Yeah, I don't believe they have any for sale either. 3070s, I think they've gone as well. So even when they're going on sale at reputable places, they're not selling them for the price that they should be selling them for. You know, they're selling them at higher market, because let's have a look at what the issue is then. Why is this happening? And this is happening with AMD graphics cards as well. If we go in here, we have a look at some AMD graphics cards. They did have some in stock yesterday, I saw. some 6800 XTs, and some. So you've got an RX 580. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants that. They've got a 5700 XT, 10 plus of those in stock. RX 580. Yeah. I think they don't seem to have anything else in stock right now. They did have a few though. Yesterday when I was looking, they've obviously just gone. But even them, they're the same thing. They're massively overpriced. So what's the issue here? The issue is supply, right? Because it's the same with the PlayStations. Now, the one thing I would say about the PlayStations is that when they're going in the shops, they're going for what their recommended retail price is, except in a few occasions where I've seen certain sites bundle PlayStations or Xbox with other things only. So I've seen Game, which is a really big UK website, and they have retail stores, and they had some Switches, I think it was, and you could only buy it if you bought it with 3 games. And I've seen other sites do it where it's like I saw one site do it where it was a PlayStation 5 and you had to buy all the accessories with it as well, and then there was another one where it was a PlayStation 5 and you had to buy a monitor with it as well, and it wasn't even a great monitor either, and you were clearly overpaying for that monitor. And let's look at why this has happened first. So the reason why this has happened is because of COVID-19. Okay, so production of things is down. Unfortunately, there's not much any of us can do about that. It's one of those things. And in the big scheme of things with COVID-19, boo-hoo, it's not really a big issue. And I'm not here to turn around and say that it is a huge issue. I'm just making this video to kind of explain about what there is and what your other options are out there, I guess, at the minute. So, as I said, COVID-19 means production's down. With production, when you have things in such high demand, like these new graphics cards, which are, by all accounts, very, very good, both on the AMD and NVIDIA side, when you have a rise in the price of Bitcoin, as we all know, mining is very popular. I've seen rigs with hundreds of 3080s in them. God knows how they got hold of them, but they do. When, yes, the price of Bitcoin rising, it leads to such a ferocious supply that there is thousands and thousands, if not millions of pounds to be made reselling these things. And what that's led to is people with, scalpers, as they're commonly known, but, scalpers, when you say a scalper, you generally bring to mind somebody who stands outside a concert venue or a football ground who've brought a ticket for the normal price, and then they're selling it on to people out there who couldn't get a ticket or whatever. And generally, in that sense, people will pay a good bit of money for it. It's not something which has just suddenly arrived with graphics cards or PlayStations or whatever. It's something which has been going on for years and years and years, and there's not much that people. I mean, where does the line get drawn with being a scalper? So, for example, I don't really blame scalpers. I think I blame the retailers, and I'll go into why. But from a scalper point of view, people are just trying to make money, and especially at the current time, can you really blame them if they're able to do it? For example, what's the difference between somebody, for example, buying a 3080 at cost price, going on eBay and selling it for more money? If they sell it, then someone wants to pay that price. The flip side of that is, what's the difference between that and, say, going to a jumble sale or doing anything, for example, any sort of thing where there might be a limited edition of something. You buy it, you keep hold of it, and then you sell it when the price is higher. That's just business, right? There's no that's not a illegal thing to do. It's not even that morally bad, to be completely honest with you. Everybody's done it at some point, probably. Nintendo Switches are a kind of classic one. People are buying those and then selling them for more. I now own a Switch. I bought one second hand, and I bought my Nintendo Switch with second hand, and it was like £350 £20, and it came with 3 games. Now, I knew when I brought that one of those games was Zelda Breath of the Wild, and one of those games was Mario Kart 8. One of them was Just Dance, but ignore that. I knew I already owned those 2 games, and I didn't need them because I have a Switch Lite, and I knew if I sold them I'd be able to get 30 quid each for them, which was 60 quid back, which then took the price of it down to £260, which is actually pretty cheap for a Switch. Is that scalping? Like, is that just kind of business sense? Like, I don't really blame people. I blame the retailers because, one, they're not putting up enough protection to stop people bulk buying. I don't really have a problem with somebody who goes out there, buys one, RTX 3080 or whatever, put it up for whatever price you want. But at the end of the day, people will pay what they'll pay, won't they? What I have a problem is when people are buying bulk loads of these, and why they have this ability to buy bulk loads of them. That's when it becomes shady, in my opinion. I saw a report online yesterday regarding Argos, which is a large kind of like, I don't know what you would call them. They're kind of like they sell everything, basically. They're kind of like a Target in a sense, but you don't go round the store. It's weird. You order from this catalogue and then you go and collect it. I don't know what the American version of it is, or even if there is Argos in America, but they also have a big online presence, and they had a shipment apparently of PlayStation 5s in, but they sold them before they even went on sale because these scalpers were able to find the web address before it even went live. Now, either they did that through some nefarious means, or they were given a tip-off or something like that, I don't know, or even somebody working for Argos knew about it and managed to do it. But whatever it was, that's not okay, in my opinion. That's not the way it should be done. And, they're not putting up enough kind of things to stop people from, stopping bots from buying things and stuff like that. And why aren't they doing this? I think with PlayStations and stuff like that, they're not doing it because they don't give a damn, I don't think. At the end of the day, they know they're going to sell it. I don't think they care who they sell it to. And I think when they're going, we're already not making a huge amount of money probably on these PlayStations. So, and we don't have a huge amount of them to really worry about. So I just think they're thinking, well, the cost of putting in, like capture software and stuff like this is just not worth it from our point of view because we just don't care. And that, I think, is really sad because there's obviously a lot of people out there who would love and probably have the money to buy a PlayStation, would love to have it right now, especially in these current times when a little bit of distraction is probably good, and they're not able to do it because the vast majority of retailers out there just don't give a damn. And like, that's annoying. PlayStation, on the other hand, and I think this is different a little bit to graphics cards. PlayStation and Xbox, on the other hand, are probably desperate to get those out because they don't make any money on those PlayStation and Xboxes. They make money on games. And if people don't have an Xbox or a PlayStation, they're not buying games. I saw that the Demon's Souls sales, despite it being critically acclaimed and by looks of it a great game, looks fantastic, the sales were dreadful on it because no one has a PlayStation 5 and you can only play it on PlayStation 5. This is going to be a problem, for them if they can't get more supply out. And also, if you have hundreds of these things sitting in scalper warehouses where they can't get into the hands of people, then no one's buying a game. So Sony and Microsoft need to step it up and either take it into their own hands. I mean, they can't. They obviously have agreements to sell it with these third parties, but they need to look at it next time because technology will be even more advanced then, and people will have even cleverer bots to pick things up by the time the PlayStation 6 or Xbox comes out, and it will just be ridiculous. As I said, the one advantage is that on all the most of the sites I've seen with PlayStation and Xbox, they're selling them at the retail price. Let's have a look at these graphs here for video cards and how they're doing. So this gives you kind of a yearly price trend for graphics cards. So we see the 2060 Super, pretty standard. I mean, I would say that despite the fact that the release around here of the new 3080 cards The price pretty much stayed the same. It didn't go down. That says it all about the fact that no one can get hold of these, these cards. 2070 Super, you saw a little bit of a jump here, June. You can see the demand in this kind of a bit here as well. It's obviously jumping. Lots of kind of lockdown and things like that. People really starting to buy there as well, trying to pick up second-hand ones as well. 2080 Super, you can see, jumped up in price. This is in dollars, and I believe it's kind of worked out via their own kind of system. But you can see that it stayed at similar price. It's jumped up, and now it's higher than it was in August 2019, pricing wise. Don't worry about this last bit. It's just because I don't think the data's quite caught up yet. 2080 Ti, you can see demand rising to $1,500. Absolutely insane. Dropping off with the release of 3080, but beginning to really rise again because no one could get hold of these 3080s. 3060 Ti launching their retail price, jumping up here massively by the looks of it, around just over $100. 3070, you can see here, just under $600 now, well over $600. 3080, retail price should be $650. This is saying now we're getting close to $900 for 3080. It's insane what has happened because of this demand for people, and it's really sad. It's really sad because we go on eBay, we have a look at firstly the kind of buy it now ones are just atrocious. If we look at the auction, people are probably selling second-hand ones. Firstly, look, this guy's selling a JPEG of one. If someone bid on it, I mean, this one's not real by the looks of it. 10 bids. JPEG edition. People are just scamming left, right, and centre. It's really bad. As I said, if you brought one legit and you're trying to sell it for a high price, I don't really have a problem with you. As long as you're selling it legit, it's working and everything like that, I don't really have a problem. It's picture only, 350 quid. I mean, you're just literally there to scam people. And people are trying to go, well, if you're dumb enough to fall for it, then whatever. But it's preying on people who maybe don't know better, or it's not your picture. It's like, come on, 2 bids. Maybe they've bid on that themselves. I don't know. 19 bids. JPEG graphics card. Yeah. Okay. See, Foinders edition for that one. God, new digital picture. Yes, it's just a picture, and there's been 19 bids on it. So it's absolutely screwed up at the minute. I would generally advise people, unless you're super desperate, do not buy a graphics card right now. Just don't do it. The prices you're paying at these legit stores are way higher than they will be. What will happen is eventually the market will catch up, so the supply will catch up, and these prices will go down because these people will be sat on loads of these. They're not going to go down too much, but they'll go down. And for me personally, as somebody who has a 2080 Super right now, as much as I would like to have a 3080, there's absolutely no way I'm going to buy one because the prices are ridiculous on them right now. So if you're in that position, I would fully advise you to wait it out. The consoles are different at the end of the day because, as I said, they're going for retail price. That ain't going to change anytime soon. So you have a legit reason to go out and get a PlayStation or a Xbox Series X, because if you can get one, because they are there. I would advise, though, I appreciate people have got to make money. Let's have a look at the PS5 right now. How much is it going for UK eBay? So we've got a brand new one here, $499, one bid, a day left. That'll go up, I would imagine. Let's look on the ones which are ending soonest. And see how much they're going for. 18 minutes left, 11 bids, £1,500. Brand new, £700. That's not terrible, I will say that much, compared to 1,500. That comes as something when you're saying that should be. So in the UK, the disk drive one, which that is 450. So it's essentially £250 more than it should be. That's it. Is that it for the PlayStations? Wow, £700. It's depressing, isn't it? £670, and who can blame people when you turn around and go, well, all I have to do is click on these buttons, pick up this PlayStation. If it, get up a bit early, click on it, I can make 250 quid on one of them. I mean, I can't blame anybody for doing it. Xbox Series X, what do we got? 525. That's not terrible. I think they're roughly the same price. I think PlayStation 5s are a lot more desirable. I would. Comes in original box brand new, based in Midlands local collection, Xbox One tier. Thanks for viewing my listing. Okay, doesn't look like it's a picture. Although I would be super suspicious. Okay, so he's saying it's brand new, sealed, which is why he hasn't got a picture inside. Interesting that it's only 525. I think the it's not quite as popular as the PlayStation. This one's got an hour left. I wonder if any of them actually show that. Yeah, it's just stock pictures. I don't like that personally. If I'm selling, I want to see what it looks like. But it looks like, there's no way this is going as much as the PlayStation 5. So I guess the question is, we look at all this, and it's quite sad, obviously, because I know there's a lot of people out there who are desperate to get a card for their build, and the prices are just massive. Like, what's your options out there at the minute? I guess that is priced at a reasonable price. Maybe you have to go back to the 20 series. I don't know if anybody's got any of those even available. We've got a 2060 here. It's not a good price for it. Not a good price at all. I think your option on PC based side of it is really, really slim, and it's pretty sad. And I pray to the PC gods that none of you out there suffer from a GPU failure right now, because it's if we have a look at a 2080 Super like I have, so you've got 500 quid, 420 quid. Now we go back here. 37 should be 469. 3070 is more powerful than a 2080 Super. Not by a huge amount. I think you're looking about 10%, 11%. But what you're saying is, for a second-hand 2080, you're paying the same as you would do for a 3070. And that's not great. And I think now is not a good time to build a computer if you want a graphics card in it. And these things are like gold dust right now. It does mean, however, if you do manage to get yourself a 3080 and you want to sell your 2080 Super, like I might be in a position to do, you're going to get a good price on it. It would be an absolute no-brainer to be able to sell my 2080 Super for 450 and buy pay 200 quid more for 3080. The performance increase is huge, so it would be a no-brainer for 200 quid. But I guess the question is, what else can you do if you wanted to upgrade? If you needed more frames per second, you can't get a graphics card, really. I think the other option I would be tempted to look at would be CPU, because I think the prices on CPUs are actually pretty reasonable right now. We've had the new Ryzen release. The R5 5600X is really good gaming chip, and at 319, and I've seen it down to 280 on other sites, so but 280 I think is a really good price for it. If you wanted something obviously more expensive, you've got the R7 5800X. It's not much faster than the 5600X, but if you were doing other things like editing, or you needed a beefier, more cores for that type of thing, then by all means it might be worth your time. I've got a Ryzen 7 3700X, very good card again. I definitely, if you were gaming, would get the R5 5600X for 20 quid more. And again, I've seen this at 280, so even maybe cheaper. You're getting a faster chip, and I wouldn't say faster in every game. It can be a little bit hit and miss, but overall the games I've seen like uplift of like 10 to 15%, and it's basically the same price. It's a no-brainer, I think. If you're already running that motherboard, and you could potentially sell your Ryzen, say you have a 3700X. How much are these going for second hand at the minute? Okay, we've got one here for 220. It's got an hour left, so you're going to get 200 quid back potentially for selling it second hand, and you're paying 300 quid, so you're paying about 100 quid for your 10 to 15% frame rate increase, which is not ideal, but it's better than what you're paying on the graphics card at the end of the day. Other things I've seen which are actually really good deals at the minute is RAM. RAM's not necessarily going to increase your speed at the minute. I've seen some good deals. Let's have a look, see if they've got any PC components. Oh wow, look, 20 quid off of 1650. Brilliant. Motherboards, they're on set cheaper at the minute, so you can get some good deals on those if you were kind of planning to go there. Storage as well is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. 4 terabytes there, 80 quid, and really good 500 gig. I think I might have one of those actually, a 970 Evo Plus. Weirdly, I think I paid more than that for it, definitely. The prices for these types of things are actually pretty good at the minute. I guess there's just a lot of surplus available for them. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pay £900 for a motherboard, but you get the idea. Like they're not bad actually. Let's look at memory, because I did see some good offers on memory. So yeah, I like the look of this. 16 gigabytes here for 80 quid. Slightly faster ones, I believe, there for a little bit more money if you wanted it. There's a 32 gig, 216s there for 160 quid. That's not the worst thing. If you wanted it super cheap, you got 3600 here for 75 quid. That's pretty good. 32 gigs of RAM. So yeah, that's not too bad actually at all. So memory is available, and storage, processors, everything apart from graphics card is actually okay priced at the minute, not terrible. So there are ways to get performance increases rather than having to buy extortionately priced ones of these. What's your options if you want a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox and you can't get one? I mean, really, how much are PS4 Pros are at the minute? Oh, I don't want that. So a second-hand PS4 Pro is going to set you back 200 quid by the looks of it, with some games, but you might not like the games, to be fair. This one's pretty good. You get Red Dead with it, which is pretty good, £195. You're still getting pretty much 4K gaming. Okay, it's going to be at 30 frames per second, but it's a good console. Owning one myself, I can say it's a good console. There's not that many exclusives to the PlayStation 5 coming out at the minute. Demon Souls, I think, and then that's kind of it, really. Xbox One X is going for, again, 200 quid by the looks of it, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, that's a Cyberpunk one as well, which is pretty cool. It might even, 150 actually. Not bad. If you're looking for something to tide yourself over, you might buy it for 150 now. You might sell it for 120 in a few months' time. If you manage to get a PlayStation or Xbox or whatever, you're losing 30 quid. But you've had a good time. At least you've had something. It might be something worthwhile to just tide yourself over, because the worst thing I think you can do right now is, certainly with the consoles and stuff like that, yeah, sure, you can keep clicking, but I think people who are trying to buy a graphics card have to come in to the terms with the fact, and I include myself in this, we ain't getting one for a long time. There isn't suddenly going to be some shipment and everyone's going to have hundreds of these things. It isn't. It's going to be small little trickles, and the bots are going to swallow them up before we even find out about them. That's what's going to happen. And, it's unfortunate, and we're going to have to wait I don't even know. It's probably going to be winter this year until we actually see good supply, and these prices, of them go back down. I didn't even look at the AMD stuff, but an RX 580, the 6800s. You can see them here. Look at this. It's insane. So this should be under 750 quid, and it's going for over 1,000 now. The RX 6800. It's utterly ridiculous. And as I said, that's at like reputable sellers. Strange, but what can you do? I guess, we're all. It's not great timing, and obviously, it's the reason. It's not great timing is the reason why it's happening. With COVID-19 and everything like that. But as I said, hold out there. You got some good consoles. Listen, Nintendo Switch is a great console. I own one. It's good. It hasn't changed its price in like 3 years, so you don't lose any money on it. You buy one now, you can't actually even get these anymore. You pretty much have to buy one second hand. But if you're looking at 270, 320, although it's got an hour left and no one's bid on it, which makes me suspicious. It's from Portugal, with £26 postage is probably why. You can get good deals on. I say good deals, like you're never going to get a lot, because at the end of the day, their prices, you don't get a lot off because the prices don't change that much. But I think you just have to, suck it up. That's a pretty good price for a Mario Kart home. £55, because it's £100 normally, actually. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's just a kind of little tech ramble, I think, about stuff, and just saying to people out there, if you're trying to find it, hang on in there. You don't have a huge amount of alternatives right now, but other than searching and trying to find a good secondhand card. But these things will come about, and things will change, and sales will happen. Stock will come in, and you will get that graphics card. And I would say, the flip side of it is that there's not a huge number of games coming out at the minute that you're missing out on, really. So hang on in there. Maybe drop down if you don't already have the previous gen console. Think about picking it up and going with that, because as I said, the Series X and the PlayStation 4 Pro are both still really good consoles at the end of the day, if you're after a 5 or an Xbox. And we're all in the same boat, basically, apart from if you're one of those people who's bulk buying everything and using bots and things like that. You're not a good person. But till next time, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.